Hello, I am here with your PFL fighter, Caolan Loughran, ahead of his upcoming fight against Alan Philpott. How are you doing today?
Never better, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
I can't wait, lad. I can't wait. I now live and train in Belfast,
Yeah.
which is a change from what I've been used to for about 7 years. And my last few fights, I've moved home and just being about the city and being in saunas and coffee shops and meeting people talking about the fights. It's really starting to build here. So looking forward to fight week, lad, and getting in there and. Uh, the hard training's almost done, as you can fucking see by my face. So ready for that to end too. But not that happy, just ready to see fight week and let it build.
And this is your first training camp underneath Fight Academy Ireland. How has
Yeah,
that been for you?
yeah, really, really good, lad. Really, really, really good. I've just been like happy to be home as much as anything with my friends and my family. My girlfriend and me, well, literally this week has her last week in Liverpool. She's graduating and moving home, and I joined home and moved home and joined Fight Academy, and it's just been class, lad. The coaching and the training partners and the vibe in the gym is special. So it's a lot of news going into this one, and thankful for it, lad.
And how has it been? Obviously, when you were in the UFC, you did have a lot of traveling to the States as well for fights. You fought in
Aye.
London, but how good is it to be able to fight back in the UK, back in your home?
Well, Belfast, it's deadly. Only one time as a pro I've actually fought in Belfast. It was the night that Reese McKee and Justin Burlinson
Yeah.
had an absolute war in Cage Wars as the co-main event that night. I had a big step up. So it was being built at the time against Fest Horley. He was like an undefeated prospect from London. And obviously a lot happened since then. I went on won the Cage Wars title, which was in Rome,
Yeah.
which is hugely expensive. And then I went to UFC, where I was fighting in America and power stuff, which is very expensive. Then even my PFL debuts in Dubai. So since I fought in Belfast, a lot has obviously happened. And for a lot of people who weren't even in, like maybe weren't following me at that stage, they've never got the opportunity to see me live. So I expect the fucking lively one next weekend. Like it's deadly to be fighting at home. Definitely, it'll be weird, almost like not flying away. It'll be weird, definitely.
And I'm going to take it back to that PFL debut against Jack Cartwright. How was
Yeah.
it preparing for that? Because obviously, Cartwright was that last minute replacement for Lewis McGrillen. How does that kind of shift your focus?
In hindsight, probably a little bit too much. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing on my behalf or not. I've lost fights, and the only fights I ever lost was from last minute replacements. And I do quite a lot of like visualization, specific training, mental preparation for opponents. And then when the opponent changes last minute, it definitely threw me off. Maybe that's a mistake on my part. I'm not sure. I was meant to fight on the I was about to fight on the Usman Nurmagomedov and Alfie Davis card, and my opponent pulled out late. Fight wasn't even announced, but I had signed to fight, and I don't even want to talk about that. Opponent pulled out, and I got offered again, lad, to fight Taylor Lapilus and that, and I turned it down. Not afraid to say that
Yeah.
because I've proven my toughness. I fought Taylor Lapilus on 3 days' notice on my UFC debut. I'd done this case for Cartwright stuff. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing anyone any fear. If I fight anyone now, it'll be after a training camp. You know what I mean? So not ideal fighting Cartwright on them circumstances. I thought it was a step up in competition. And that's just the sport, lad. I took a chance and it didn't pay off, but it's just keep moving forward. It's a game of who takes the licks the best. I'll have a lot of news going into this one, lads. New city, new team, new training partners, new coaching, new everything. So I'm kind of trying to focus on that side of it and the like a positive mentality going towards it, as opposed to taking myself back to defeat. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And with Alan, how has that match up? How did that tail shift from the Cartwright fight?
I would say Cartwright punches harder. Alan's more of a touch and move type guy. I was originally meant to fight Sarvajan. This card. The reason on Thursday night and late here in Belfast, I was meant to fight in Boston. I was meant to fight Sarvajan Hamadov, who has a very dominant win. He's ranked number six, I think, in the promotion. He's a very dominant win over the last year's tournament winner, who's ranked number five, and I think he beat Magomedov, and his only loss in his record, who's ranked number four. So I think he might be number one or two in the promotion. I was meant to fight him, and the show got moved to Belfast. So the way we need a working visa to get to make money in America, he needs one here. I think Mozart of Loya had a bit of trouble with it for the London show, getting the
Yeah.
visa to the UK. So because the show was changed on quite late notice, they just scrapped that fight and they gave me a local one against Alan. So I was like, happy days, no problem. I'll fight. Of course, I'll fight him. For being brutally honest, that would have been a much harder. He's a really, really, really high level guy. Alan is skillful, technically good everywhere, and someone that I simply have to beat. That's really it. I think I have the advantages over I fought at a higher level from him. I've fought I fought at a
And
higher level from him. I've been more active and I've been on a bigger stage, but he is very experienced. But definitely a lot of losses. Can't overlook that. He's definitely lost a lot recently, and the manner in which he's lost would be the manner in which I finished a lot of guys. So I think he matched up well. A must win.
and after you get that fight, you get the victory, you get a stoppage. Who are you looking to fight next? Is there a name on the tip of your tongue?
Yeah, well, if I don't beat Alan, there's no tomorrow, as they
Yeah,
fucking say. You know what I mean? So I think a logical matchup. Kieran Clark, he's on the card here. He's ranked number eight in the promotion. Like I
yeah.
actually have a bone to pick with the PFL. He's ranked. Like I know I lost, but like 10 through to 7's never had a real fucking fight. Like the rankings are mad. Then no one in the top 10's fighting against each other. So I think I have to beat him. If it would logical might be to fight Kieran, try to get in the rankings there. Or if they want to make the McGrillen fight, I am definitely down for that. But I have to win. You know what I mean? It makes no sense me trying to think about anybody else. If I don't beat Alan, I wouldn't be in a good. My stock would be finished. So I have to beat Alan next Thursday night. That's the way I'm looking at it. You know, lad.
And what do you make of like the rebranding in PFL? Because obviously they're starting to try and move away from the tournament style fighting.
Yeah.
They've introduced the rankings. They're now starting to have proper fight cards instead of the tournament.
Mhm.
What do you kind of make of that?
I mean, I would have loved to done one of them tournaments. That's one of the big reasons. That was part of my contract. Why I say that was part of that was one of the things in my contract. Like I was going to be in it, but uh, good is what it is. I missed that's just as it is. I think John Martin. I really like every single thing he said. If I'm being brutally honest, I listen to all his news. I think he's really really good in the way he talks, very realistic, and his approach to growing the promotion makes a lot of sense. The only one I haven't really liked is that they're now talking about rebranding it as Bellator again.
Yeah,
I mean, I was a big like having a Bellator world title would be fucking a massive accomplishment as a fighter, but I kind of like the whole PFL thing. I wouldn't really be on board for a new brand. A new, it's starting to certainly here in Belfast, and but thanks to Paul and that. To go back to Bellator, I'm not sure about that one, but I actually like everything they've done. The new matchups and all. Oh, that's right. The new rankings mean that you can like build matchups, you can make storylines, you can sort of create paths towards titles and big fights and stuff like that. There, do you know what I mean? That is essential, I think, for promotion to have them rankings. But I've actually agreed with everything John Martin said. Really, listening to his interviews, and I think he's really switched on. Smart guy.
and I think you have to kind of look at their signings as well recently, and you
Yeah,
know that they are kind of starting to build a roster that can compete with the best. You've got
absolutely.
obviously yourself was brought in. You've got Mitch McKee headlining the card I think this week. This week actually. Then
Yes.
you've got the Rising double champ and no, sorry, two-time champ in Rising coming through.
Oh no, they have definitely invested in their roster, and one thing that I'm noticing is they're putting a lot of work into promoting that
Yeah,
roster. Like next week, we've got I know it's silly, but like there's open workouts in Victoria Square here in Belfast, which would be like the middle of the that's like the middle of Belfast, like the shopping centre. Like a lot of people will like be on to that and see like sit over and watch it. So they're actually putting a lot of work into promoting the roster. Obviously compared to the UFC, they haven't got like the stars and the the depth of roster, so they can put a wee bit more effort into promoting the guys at the top of their you know what I mean? Which
yeah.
is one benefit from PFL, I think, 1,000,000%. But no, they're definitely doing a lot of the right things, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And going back to your UFC days, your last fight was against Nathan Fletcher. You were able to get the win in that fight. Did you have a feeling that your contract wasn't going to be renewed heading into that? Or what was the contract? What was like were you having talks with UFC at that point? Or what was the gig heading into there?
I thought if I lost, there would be. I knew I was saying open. If I lost, they wouldn't. I'd have went 1-3. Maybe the UFC debut was very close, but that'd have been not good to go 1-3.
Yeah,
I was assured of the 2-2 would be all good, and they came back, and there was a wee bit of initial loggerheads, and maybe me being just a stubborn bastard, I should have waited out. But I was like, well, if you don't want me, you don't fucking want me. And I went immediately started talking to the PFL. Maybe I should have
yeah,
half waited and negotiated, but that's just the kind of the way I operate. And when I was talking to the PFL, it was very much like really positive and would love to have you and all this. So I just kind of moved ship very quickly in my mind that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just the way it's going. Brian Battle there fought Johnny Abel, he came in. I think was he 7-1 or something.
yeah.
He had a really good record in the UFC, and Taylor Lapillus was 3-1 twice now in our promotion. So it is what it is, lad. The UFC's getting an awful lot of stick at the moment,
Yeah.
and I think rightfully so for their complacency. The UFC's always going to be the UFC, but uh, PFL keep going the way they're going. There's definitely something special happening. More so in Europe, I would say at the moment. But uh, yeah, I'm happy where I am. But I thought after the win, I kind of thought I'd be entitled to certain things like a big pay raise and when you go on your second contract. But that's just the game, lad. You know what I mean? Highs and lows.
And you were like you were saying, you did win the Cage Warriors title out in Rome. You went to Rome, faced the Italian, you faced the booze. How was that atmosphere?
Unforgettable, brother. Absolutely unbelievable. Cage Wars are back in Rome, I think, this week. I
Yeah,
seen they put up there something like or soon anyway, and
it's this
it's just
weekend, yeah.
special. Yeah, it's just a special place for me for that exact reason, and something to look back on with fond memories. And my friends who all went over, and they actually all got the shit kicked out of them that night by the Italians. They still look back at it with great memories. Yeah, no, winning the Cage Wars world title for anyone who's ever got it's a really, really special feeling. It kind of opens up a lot of doors and kickstarts a lot of careers, as did for mine, got me on the big shows. So, unbelievable memories, that unbelievable. And you go back to Rome, definitely just feel it again. But yeah, no, class memories, that I.
And how good has it been with Cave Wars kind of having that focus on the Irish scene? They also went to Ireland for their Cave Wars 200, and they've got
Did.
a lot of superstars coming through the ranks. Max Ali, you've got Lewis Byrne, you've got Keith Kinnock, you've got Alexander
Uh,
O'Sullivan. Just a lot of talent that seems to come up, including the middleweight champion, Paddy.
I now see he's now in the gym I've joined here, Fight Academy. I've seen him firsthand in the gym, and honestly, I when that guy walked out Balandi, I goes to my brother, he's gonna knock him out in one round here. I swear on my life, like 'cause I'd seen Paddy in the gym so sharp, so mentally focused, and then I seen your man half walking in like he was fucking buying milk in Tesco's nearly is what he looked like. I said he's gonna knock him clean out in one round here. He's gonna hit him so quick, and he did. I hope now he goes on, gets signed by the UFC, the PFL, a big promotion, gets a big contract. I hope that's what's next for him, and it should be. He's earned it. But Cage War has been a platform for Irish MMA from the very beginning, and long may it continue.
And how would you love to see at least a promotion come in and have a show at the Free Arena again?
Yeah, the Three Arena is sick, but for me, for us, it's the SSE up here in Belfast. That's the
Yeah,
main one. Like the Three Arena would be cool, but I'd like to see the SSE just done because MMA in Belfast is absolutely booming. Belfast has always been a very, very big boxing city. From like Carl Frampton, Ryan Burnett, Michael Conlon, all these guys, the big nights were always boxing.
yeah.
But I love the sport of boxing in Belfast. My first martial art, I love it. But like the boxing coaches in Belfast have told me since moving home that the level of the like there would have been a time when you won the Ulster Elites in boxing here that was like You were ready to take on the Kazakhs, the Russians. You were elite, elite, elite. And what some of the top box coaches have told me is that all the kids, all the talent is up in Fight Academy doing MMA. So MMA here is absolutely thriving, and three arena would be cool. But for me, I just want to see the big shows coming to the SSC. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
keep that going. The kids want to see MMA. So that's the hot spot for MMA in Ireland, I think.
And how has it been being able to have been able to progress through your career with your brother by your side? Obviously, unfortunately, he had to retire quite early from sport, but how has it
Uh,
been to have him by your side, training with him growing up?
some buzz, hey, some buzz. I'll turn 30 years old this year, and I was telling just like if my thirties are half as good a crack as my twenties, I'll be doing well. They've been fucking mental, and he's been there the whole way, or the alongside me the whole way. So no, it's been some buzz. Some stories come from this sport, and good and bad. Definitely a few bumps along the road too, but no, it's been class to be there with him, and he's really, really making a bit of a name here in Belfast as a coach.
Yeah,
He has that over me because he's got to it young. You know what I mean? He's that's a coaching and fighting is a different mentality completely, different way of watching fights, different way of studying, different way of thinking. And he's getting a bit of really getting a good name here in Belfast immediately, almost like really, really busy. So just highs and lows, but it's been deadly to have him there, and he'll be there next Thursday night definitely, and then we'll get a few pints of Guinness after with him. You know what I mean?
is that the celebration? Go out there,
Always,
get some Guinness.
fucking always, lad. And usually, like the last time I was in Dubai, and the next day I went to get a Guinness, and it was the worst pint of Guinness I have ever had in my life. So now I can be in like people always talk about Dublin's the best. I think Belfast the best Guinness in the world. So it's been because I thought I was fighting, I say, in February on the Usman card. So I had like
Yeah.
I was in camp the whole way through, and then that fight fell through, and then done sober January, and then I've been on the grind for months, man. So I'm looking forward to a few definitely the next day. Absolutely.
And what do you make of that card? Because obviously you did say Kieran Clark is on there. You got the new main event, Dara Kelly versus JJ Wilson. You got Reece McKee. He's got that battle against Alex Loughran. And then you've also got other people like Tyson Pedro. He's making his PFL debut. You got Chris
Aye.
Nixon versus Ian Sheridan. What do you kind of
Yes,
make
and
of
you've
this
got
card?
and the people's main event, me and Alan Philpott. You know what I mean?
Of course.
No, that's a good card. One side of the card's predominantly all Irish lads. So
Yeah,
please God, we all get the win and have a really, really, really memorable night. Aye, big night for Dara Kelly. Now, big opportunity for him. Fair play to him. Obviously, gutting that Paul had to pull out, but it was the
yeah,
correct decision. Had to be done. Um, but Dara has definitely benefited of that now, definitely. But I'm just half thinking about me, lad. Young Miss Oliver too, my probably my main one of my main
yeah.
training partners. He's opening the card the night. He would be one of the big hopes for Irish MMA. Phenomenal talent for his age, you know. So I would hope that the crowd come in early for that one. And actually, the show starts late, so hopefully they will be. Uh, Three from our gym now. Me, him, and Reese are fighting. So no, big night, lad. Very, very big night, and really, really, really looking forward to it. You know.
Exactly. And what is the plans for after the fight? Like, as long as you're all healthy, no injuries, when are you wanting to get back out there?
Stood away. Alan Philpott rang 5 weeks out and says he can't make weight. So we moved up to featherweight. So I have no big weight cut on my hands. Go in, absolutely fucking smash him, batter him, violent finish, and show what we've been working on with the new team very quickly. That's what I'm fucking. I'm going at him aggressively early, and then please God, no injuries, no banged up, nothing like that there, and we can go again very soon because I say I have no big weight cut. So yeah, that's the plan. Go in, get him out of there early, and get a fight booked ASAP. 1-3 this year. I
Yeah.
heard talk that they're actually talking to come back to Belfast in October, so I'm definitely not waiting that long. So sometime around June, July, even the Brussels card in May, no problem. If they got me the right matchup, I'd fight it definitely. But I some fight around summer and then back in Belfast in October. That sounds like a great year. You know what I mean?
And like you said, Alan called you up saying that you need to move it to featherweight. What was your reaction to that? Did that just make you have like extra motivation?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely heavier than Alan Philpott.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I'm definitely heavier than him. So maybe he'll be a better man. He thinks that it doesn't struggle him, but I mean, I'm gonna be like, I would love to be a featherweight, but then I looked at the PFL featherweight rankings. You've got big fucking Alex Bergrande, 6'1" or two or something. I was like, that cunt would kick me from halfway across. You know what I mean? I'm too small for them cunts, but if I'm fighting a bantamweight who just can't be, who's being lazy and can't make bar making weight, it tells me a lot. Tells me a lot about his training, his preparation, and his discipline. The only thing is, I've went a long time now. It'll be since fighting Nathan, because Cartwright was a catchweight. So I fought Nathan last year, and that was a really hard weight cut. So it's a long time without my body being 135 pounds, especially as I'm getting older. You know what I mean? I don't like that, but I I've still stayed disciplined, stayed true to my weight. I'll just have it that the last day, I'm very similar weight to what I would have been, but the last day is one of as big a cut type thing. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
tried to stay. Just because Alan's being lazy doesn't mean that I'm gonna be lazy. You know what I mean? Because you can be complacent. You be like, oh, I can eat this now because I'm not making bantamweight. But I've tried to stay as disciplined as I can with it, and because I'm a better athlete when I'm lighter, faster, and stronger than if I'm carrying a bit of weight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, it just tells me a bit about his preparation. But fuck it, same for both guys. Takes the edge off for me, I suppose too. If anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And make sure you guys tune in on April the 16th, where you can see Keelan get the knockout and get the finish and get the win. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to add or anyone you want to shout out?
Not just the sponsors, lad. That prize guy, Urban Construction, Concordia, all the lads, and everyone who's helped me out in Fight Academy. That made me feel like part of the team. It's been class. Thank you, lad.
And thank you for coming on. We know you'll get the stoppage, and we can't wait to see it happen. Thank you so much.